name is Taylor. My pronouns are he, they. I am a trans man. I grew up in the Bible Belt in Northwest Arkansas. I'm actually also a pastor's kid. It hasn't been the easiest, let's just say that. So I actually came out, quote unquote, last June. And that's when I finally accepted that I liked women. And then over like the course of the year, I started really like just, digging up other things that I feel like I had buried because I didn't think it was, right to feel that way or to be that way all those years, just growing up in the church. And it wasn't that like my parents, they didn't teach things like you're going to hell if you're this way. Christianity as a whole just didn't make it feel like it was a safe space to come out, so to speak, or to be who I was, who I am. And so I just, for years, spent like 24 out of the 26 of my years, just trying to deny the fact that I even liked women, let alone, the man that I am. And, I finally came to terms with, I am a man. And so I finally felt bold enough to come forward with that. And that's been a journey in itself. And I was in the closet, quote unquote closet, almost the entirety of my life at this point. And so I feel like I probably was pretty problematic myself without even realizing it. Because not that I was like, oh, you're going to hell for being X, Y, and Z, but I was a person that used to believe you can pray it away. Well, I tried, I tried myself. So like, let's say like I thought somebody was attractive. So another girl was attractive at the time when I was a kid. And I'd be like, okay, these thoughts are impure, right? And that's what I was taught. So I'm like actively trying to pray it away. And then maybe a week will go by and I feel like, oh, okay, it worked. But then I see somebody else that I felt was attractive and was like, oh, nope, didn't work. Gonna have to do it again. And I feel like, growing up where I did really impacted me. And not only that, like I'm Black too. And Black people, our community is not the most open to queer identities. So that coupled with growing up in the church, in a Black church at that, and being around nothing but Black people, it didn't always feel like the safest space for me to come out or to be who I was. I felt like I had to be one way and that was it. Or, God will only bless me if I'm this way, is what I used to think, and that's problematic. It was draining, extremely draining. And so when I finally decided to just be like, I am who I am and God loves me, it was very freeing. 2019, I actually moved to DC to work on a documentary about intersectionality, but as it pertains to the pay gap and its impact on Black women. I feel like a lot of times we look at things via, a singular focus and not usually intersectional. And Black women oftentimes get the butt end of that, they're the bottom of the totem pole, things like that. When we look at the pay gap, especially. And so that kind of inspired me to look at more things intersectionally. And at this point in 2019, I had kind of come to terms with who I was, who I am. And at the time, I didn't even identify as trans. I was still trying to figure it out, but I was actively like going on dates with women and stuff like that. So I finally kind of was coming out of the closet, say that. And so then I wanted to take intersectionality another, step further, Black queer folks, Black queer women, things like that. And highlight those stories, amplify those stories. And with my career path now, like I'm going back to school for sports management. I really have always had a dream to be an agent, have my own agency, and end up being like a general manager over a professional team. But also I don't feel like, trans athletes, especially Black trans athletes, get representation that they deserve and need. So not only do I want to focus on, Black athletes in general who get cheated out of money, I want to focus on Black trans athletes and queer athletes as well. So within my company that I want I not only want a department for film and television, but I want music and I want sports as well. That I would say that's my biggest dream. What advice could I give my 13-year-old self? I would just say to be who you are. Seriously, just be yourself. I really spent years praying, trying to pray the queer way. I finally got to a space where I was just like, you know what? I love Jesus. I love God. This is who I am. And he knew who I was before I even stepped foot on earth. So it's just like, I'm going to accept this. Being who you are, it's really important. Because if you're not, I promise you it's taxing. I've been exhausted trying to be somebody else or pretend to be somebody else. Just be yourself. You are loved, you matter, and you're enough.